Hello guys, how's it going? Screezilla here. I hope you're all well. So, today I'm going to be asking a question. Why? Why does this plane exist in game? Now, I'm not talking about the P108 as a plane, because that should absolutely exist in game. The P108a absolutely should exist. The P108b, the Bombardier, should absolutely exist. But what I'm talking about is the P108b Series 2, the Night Bomber variant. Why does that exist in game? Well, I don't really know. And the biggest head scratching thing I have to ask is, why is it a higher BR? It's no better than the Series 1 in performance. They both have the same engines, they both have the same power output. Now this one of course is aced, so it is better overall because it has, the upgrades to it. But without any upgrades, these planes are the same. There's no difference. Well, maybe getting rid of that nose-mounted gun will increase bomb load. Well, no, it doesn't. It's still the same bomb load. It really makes no sense. Now, one little nitpick about the planes added, well, there's two really, because the P108A should not be centre mounted and fixed in place. It was actually aimable by the gunner. That's a bit of a sore point to me, as you probably know, because I've mentioned it many times. But another thing is the bomb load, and that's the 50 kilogram bombs, because, well, in both these planes, you get 34 of them. Whereas the technical documents list them as 38 for the 50 kilogram bombs. So we're missing out on 4 bombs for the 50 kilograms. Now let's have a little look at this plane first of all. It's a very pretty plane. It's a bit like the, it's a little bit like a Lancaster, a little bit like a short Sterling. It's most comparable really to the short Sterling because they carried comparable bomb loads really. Very similar plane designs, very similar planes overall. Of course, the Piaggio has a much larger wing surface, so it could carry more bombs for a longer range. But they're very similar in their payloads, for ultimate payload for distance. Now, this variant was brought in because daylight bombing was suicidal, so they wanted a night bomber. So they painted this lovely plane this sort of grey, greenish grey, and removed the nose-mounted gun. As you can see, we have a single 50 caliber machine gun mounted in the nose with a plexiglass bubble for the gunner. But that's the only difference between these planes. We can look at the X-ray view. You can sort of see everything's the same. Same engines, things like that. And it really does make you scratch your head as to why they have added this plane, but why they've put it at a higher BR. Now, let's go to a replay. As you see, all my previous replays have been blacked out because, well, there was an update and I didn't get around to using all the footage. Always fun. So, I've done a video on this plane before, and I've talked quite a bit about it. It's actually one of my favourite bombers now. I can honestly say this plane is one of my favourite bombers. Which, as you probably know, me being a bomber nut, that's pretty impressive. Now, there's this very cool bug here, which has our rear gunner sitting out of the gun before the gun goes down. Always nice to see little visual bugs like that, they're very amusing. It doesn't happen all the time though, that's the only time I've ever seen it. I found it very funny. So, this plane, it's designed for night bombing. So, that should mean that it's harder to spot. Well no, it's not any harder to spot than the normal version, of course. Because you're flying in daylight all the time. There we go, our gun's gone down now. Just fired off the machine gun a couple of times and popped down. So, what benefit does this plane have? There is absolutely none. The only reason for unlocking this plane is so you can get to the next tier of planes. That's it. It's the only point to unlock this plane. It's at 3.7 instead of 3.3 for the BR rating. Now, that may not mean much to you all, but the biggest thing that does is it puts you up to 4.0 games. It puts you up to higher BR games. And what that means is bases have a higher health rate. So, all in all, this plane is absolutely useless compared to the other. And it really is for playing purposes. If you're looking to bomb out bases to earn lions, you're better off using the Series 1 because you have enough bombs to take out 3 bases. Now, you will do less damage because you're only going to do 3 tons of damage to the bases. So you won't make as many lions, technically. But you get a bonus for taking out a base. So it sort of works out. The other thing as well is if you're playing in a squad, say you've got 3 of these planes flying together to bomb out the airfield, which is entirely possible, in this mode, in this plane, it would ruin that chance because you would be up-tiered and you would have to do, I think it's something like 1.25 tons of damage to the base at 3.7. It's actually, I found you've not had the 4.0 base damage overall for a couple of games. They've been close, but it's not been the full amount because a base to die is 1.5 for 4.0, so 1.5 tons. So it's a slightly less amount of damage you need to do to the bases, but it's still more than you can actually drop. And that becomes very problematic. Now, it's problematic in this plane, of course, because you're better off carrying the 100 kilogram bombs into battle than carrying the heavier bombs, the 250s and 500s, because you've got more of a payload to drop that way. If you take out the 250s or 500s, you're only going to be able to destroy 1 base. You might get away with 2 bases, but you're just really going to be able to destroy 1 in this BR. Because you'll need 4 bombs. You'll need 4 500 kilogram bombs to take out a base. And that's where it gets very tricky. Because if you've seen my previous video on bombers, which went very long and had a lot of talking in it, but basically you've got to work out your TNT value. So I should switch to the player view here. So it does become very tricky. Now the P108 down there has actually done a fantastic job. Let's just flip to... Look to this guy. He's actually torpedoed. And he's done some very short torpedo drops on the enemy ships there. But he's managed to get all 3 torpedoes out and take out 3 ships. He ends up taking out 3 ships in the end. Fantastic job by this guy. And this is another thing this plane is very good at, is scoring points by taking out ships. Each ship is around about 1,000 points. Now he gets a big hit there from an enemy fighter. We're down on a Spitfire in 6 now. But he's doing the right thing, he's keeping it level. I imagine he's getting ready for the gunners. Spitfire is coming into his 6. He's getting pretty wrecked here, but he manages to take down that Spitfire. Brilliant job there, Shingler. Unfortunately, he's not going to live much longer because his tail is completely wrecked. But a fantastic game there by this guy. Absolutely mega. Brilliant job. Anyway, bombing. Now, I've just gone over my targets here, and as you'll see, I've dropped 21 bombs. 10 bombs hit there, 11 bombs hit there. Now 10 bombs is enough to take out a base in 3.3 of course, and that's what I was working off. So my bombs have not done enough damage, so that means I have to use an extra 4 bombs to take out these bases. Okay, bugger. That means I'm only going to have 9 left. So I'll need around about 12 bombs to take out each of these bases, and you just don't have enough bombs on board to take out all 3. You can, however, take out 2 and pretty much all of the other base. And that's very handy. So as you see, I'm just looking back here at the bases, working out what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn back on those bases. Now let's just look at the scoreboards here. Now, Shinkler is absolutely nailed it there. He's 3,000 points of RP, of score points there. Absolutely mega game for him, taking out an enemy plane as well. But with my bomb load, I've dropped 2.32 tons, and that's been enough to take out 1 and a quarter bases, basically. So I've still got to take out that extra bit of base. Scored 521 points though, so that is good for point scoring. I was actually running a Lions pack and RP pack in this game because I need some Lions desperately. But if I'd actually gone in the lower tier variant of this plane, in the Series 1, I would have actually scored more points. Even though I would have done less base damage. And that's where it becomes a bit tricky. And that's where you have to ask yourself, what's this plane really for? I drop 1 bomb here, and then I drop 3 bombs here. Let's just switch to a 3 camera. And probably not going to catch up to those bombs. But you'll see the bombs are going to land. We'll take out this base first. There we go. And this base will come second. So we needed those 3 bombs just to take out that base. Now you'll notice that my points have gone up a huge amount here, because I had 500 and now I'm at 843, and that's because I've got the bonuses for taking out the bases. I still have enough bombs to cause some damage to that 3rd base, but I'm not going to be able to destroy it, which means I'm not going to get that bonus for it, which is a shame. And as I said, if I was flying out in the lower tier variant, I would have got all 3 bases killed in this game without any problem, and probably had enough bombs to drop on a couple of anti-aircraft guns to maybe score some more points. The other thing is the defensive guns on this plane. You're losing one. Yeah, you're only losing a nose-mounted gun, but you're losing a nose-mounted gun, and you're not getting any performance or any gain for it. So, again, I have to ask, why for this plane? What's the point in it? And in all honesty, I can't come up with any answer. Because it's a higher BR, you're going to come up against harder fighters, of course, which is tricky, and you're going to come up against tougher bases, which means it's very tricky. There's no vast performance gain in this plane. There's no huge gain in performance because of that nose gun being taken out, because it doesn't cause much drag, it doesn't cause anything different. It adds an extra 80 pounds of weight, say, if that, and that's all. Of course, you've got to take out the human as well, because there's one less person in there, so it removes about 150 pounds of weight, say. But that's not really a huge amount, and considering the penalty you're paying for flying this plane, is it really worth it? And I don't think it is, in all honesty, because, well, as you see, it's really penalised me here, because I've I've not been able to destroy the 3 bases. I've not got that extra bonus for those, for that 3rd base. And if I was flying on another map, let's say I had to take out the airfield, well, now I'd have to return to base, bomb that last base, and then bomb the airfield. So it's penalised me in a lot of ways. Not to mention the fact I had to do 3 runs to take out those bases. Now, luckily, the enemy team got absolutely destroyed in this game, but if there was a fighter coming over after it saw the bombs hit the base, then, well, I would be dead pretty quickly, and I wouldn't have got that 3rd drop off. I possibly wouldn't have even got that 2nd drop off. It's all about timing with bombers. You need to get in and out as fast as possible. And with this plane, you simply can't do that. And that's very sad, because it kind of negates this plane. If you were to ask me, is this plane worth researching? I would say no. Let's just head out of the replay here. Because simply, it's not worth researching, because it's, well, it's bloody hopeless. As you can see, I did 3.35 tons of damage there. I think with the... no, I can't see that. Hooray. But generally, that's around about the same tonnage of damage as you'll do with the P108b. If you hit the airfield, you're going to do that damage for sure, but you're also going to score more points because you get that bonus for destroying the base. You have the same bomb load, you have the same speed, you have the same turning time, you have the same everything. The only visual difference is the colouring of the plane and this simple mount here, which would probably be aluminium, but it adds no armour. There's no armour increase on the plane. You still have the same armour as before. You have the same everything as before. The only difference is you lose one defensive gun and you get put in a higher BR. So in all honesty, this plane is not worth it. Of course, as I said, you do have to unlock it technically. You don't have to. If you've bought the G55S, then you don't have to unlock this plane. If you bought this, don't unlock this plane because it's not worth it. It's not worth your time and effort. You're better off just unlocking these two, and these 3, and then having this one. This plane is not worth playing. It's not worth using. It's not worth having. And that's a real shame because it's just a plane that's there for the numbers. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'd love to know your thoughts on the P108b Series 2. Let me know in comments below what you think of it and what you think of its BR and what you think of it being there just for the sake of being there. Until next time, this is Screezilla and I will catch you next time. Bye bye.